Shane, he talked about how there's some throws he would love to have back. How do you go over those with him, and how much do you let him not dwell on those?
Yeah, for him and for his growth and development, I mean, he understands and knows what throws he should have made and balls that he should have completed, and that's part of coaching as well from my aspect of it. But again, he's a guy that wants to be really, really good, and he every day he's in progress of doing that. So he's as hard and critical of himself as I am of him as a coach. So just with him, it's just about him growing and developing, and understanding what plays are there and what plays he needs to make. And the positive thing, he's done for his age and where he's at and experience, he's done a really good job of continuing to do those things.
In the Oklahoma game, did you expect Kyle to get a little bit more work, or were you guys just riding Deontay?
Yeah, just feel again, just didn't quite know. I mean, we knew Kyle was going to work some, and just really see how healthy Deontay was really the key, and how much he could go. So he wanted to go, and he was good enough at that position to go. So, I mean, we went with him. Obviously, he's an effective guy. He's a highly, highly competitive guy. He's a guy that makes plays for us, and he was healthy enough to go, wanted to go, so that's what we went with.
On your right, Anwar.
And sticking with Deontay, he's been having such a good year so far. What were your expectations for him kind of before the year, and does your confidence in him kind of grow week by week?
Yeah, it has. I mean, expectations go back. It was really unknown with me for really any of these guys. Until you get to the Notre Dame game and the lights come on, you don't quite know how a group of guys and individuals is going to perform until you get in that scenario and that situation. So that's as much as we evaluated spring and you evaluate during two-a-days, at any level that I've ever been at, your true evaluation comes when the lights come on and you're able to see how those kids are able to produce and how they're able to execute.
Go ahead, Brian.
Strong follow-up about Deontay, though. I mean, it's been a long time since Texas had a 1,000-yard rusher. Jamal being here, just the fact that he's on pace to reach that level has got to excite you guys as a coaching staff, I would think, and excite him too. I got to believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a guy that we're definitely excited about, and just going back to answering your question, that's why you ride with a guy like that. And like I told you after the game, he's a battler. I mean, he was not 100% healthy, and the kid went out there and was determined. He fought, he battled to the yardage that he got, and put us in the situation to possibly win that game late in the game. And that's the kind of player he is. That's the kind of person he is. So he's just done a great job of carrying a heavy load and a big load for us right now, especially since Chris went down.
Question? Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, Sterling, little Jordan, do you see him as a guy that can maybe help you out at running back? I know he played that in high school, but obviously a little different looking kid than Deontay or your other running backs.
Yeah, he is, and that's something that we've definitely gonna mess with and see how it works out. And he's very skilled. He's very athletic. It's something he's familiar with. He played in high school. He's repped that before. It's a position that we're gonna see kind of how he fits and how it feels for him. And we'll just go from there.
On the right, Taylor.
Kind of going off of that, he's about 6'4". What do you have to look at when you look at a running back of that type of size that has more of the wide receiver build?
Yeah, his stature is a little different than most of your backs, but the thing about you get with LJ is he's got great balance, he's got great leg strength, he's played the position before, so he's very familiar with it, and he sees holes well, he sees our schemes well. So that's something that's encouraging with him. And again, he's a young guy, and we're just going to continue to rep him and see exactly what fits him and what he's good with.
Back over here, Danny.
Dorian Leonard, how much has he kind of progressed these last couple of weeks, and what has he shown you to prove that he deserves his playing time?
Yeah, he's just gotten better week in and week out, and it's the positive thing about our offense is guys get an opportunity for quite a few reps. So he's just taking advantage of his reps. And then he's taken advantage of targets during a football game, and he's made plays that we needed and when they presented themselves to him. So he's done a good job, continue to grow in those areas, and we're excited about where he's going and where he's headed.
Stay over here, Joe.
After 5 games at the University of Texas, what has been the biggest adjustment you've had to make this season now that you're kind of at a halfway point?
Again, I'll go back to the evaluation of our personnel, just making sure that your personnel's right. Like I said, you can evaluate all through spring and summer camp, but until the lights come on, until you get into games and situations and scenarios, how guys are going to play, how guys are going to respond, those are things that you still had to look at and figure out, and then just figure out what those guys that we're going with, what do they do best, what plays in Shane's hands best, what does he do best. So just being able to evaluate and see those still week in and week out, day in and day out, about just putting our offense in a situation to be really, really successful.
Back on the right, Anwar.
Coach, the 18-wheel package was kind of successful, but we saw, Oklahoma kind of stacking up. What's your plans there? I guess you can't give your game plan, but do you have to mix it up and throw a little pass in there for Tyrone every once in a while?
Yeah, we still like that package, and we still got our scheme out of it, and it's definitely something we're still very excited about with Tyrone.
Go ahead, Dan.
Ja'Cory, I know he was out for the Oklahoma State game, and I think he had a catch this past week. Is he just getting back healthy, or is it just kind of a rotation thing with him right now?
No, he's getting back healthy, and that's a guy that we are excited about getting back and get back on the field just with experience. He's got game experience, which is invaluable. He's a guy that's a leader for us in that receiver core and a guy that has made plays this fall. So we're excited about him getting back, being 100% healthy, and being able to roll.
Go ahead, Brian.
Outside of the Andrew Beck touchdown at Oklahoma State, there hasn't been a whole ton of throws between the hashes in the middle of the field. I mean, is that by design, the way you want it, or that's just what the reads are giving Shane?
A little bit of both, and it's just, again, we've got a scheme, we've got a plan, and the way we want to utilize it and the way we want to take it is how we want to do it, and it's just something we haven't got into this fall yet.
In the back, Anthony.
Coach, you guys are coaching your hearts out. The kids are playing their hearts out, but the results aren't coming your way. When those things aren't happening, you aren't getting the results. Are you harder on the kids, easier on the kids? How do you balance out, the anger and frustration and trying to relax and keep everyone calm during a streak like this?
Yeah, what you do is you got to evaluate and you got to see exactly where is there an issue or where is there a mistake, and at that point, then you address it and you begin to coach that fundamental and you coach that technique and you coach that kid. And the thing with us being at this point in time with our offense, still the things we've identified, we some of those things are per individual, per position. So what you do is you go in, you identify those things, and every day you aim to fix them. And once you fix that, then you just continue to grow to the next area. But I mean, it's about consistency with our kids. We're going to be consistent. We told them from the get-go, we're going to love you hard, we're going to coach you hard, and then we continue to do that. But I'm excited about our guys and their determination, their motivation about showing up every day at work and getting better at the things that we've asked them to do.
On the right, Anwar.
Coach, there's a lot of pressure mounting on the outside, against Coach Strong, and a lot of criticisms that are being kind of thrown his way. How has he handled that from what you've seen? I know you've been on campus for 9 months, and how you addressing that with your kids as far as blocking the outside influence?
Yeah, we show up every day and we go to work. When you're in the coaching profession, that's part of it. But with our kids, it's about keeping our kids focused on the task at hand, and that's, again, whatever the position they play, being a better O-lineman, being a better quarterback, being a better receiver. And those guys being focused on that and staying focused on their academics and being a great student athlete at the university.
Danny.
From what you've seen on defense, Iowa State's record isn't great, but is there anything you've seen on film that kind of stands out defensively?
Ask that question one more time.
Is there anything you've seen on film from Iowa State from their defense that you're kind of keeping an eye on?
Yeah, those guys, they do a good job. Those guys were at Toledo when I was at Bowling Green, so it's somebody that I'm familiar with. They've got their kids playing hard. They're stingy on the defensive side of the ball. So, they've been in some really close battles and really close games. So we're obviously aware of that and what potential they are as an opponent.
Hang on one second. Go ahead, Anthony.
Coach Campbell, Iowa State, he's a defensive guy, but last year the Cyclones shut out the Longhorns. What do you see in this Cyclones defense, and How are you going to attack them and hopefully score some points this year against them?
Yeah, just like I just said, we're familiar with those guys from seeing them at Toledo, and they're stingy on the defensive side of the ball. They got their kids playing hard. They're physical. They have a good scheme, and we're just continuing to get better with today's practice and what we got going the rest of the week for these guys.
Go ahead.
And then how high is Devin's ceiling, Coach? And I know Coach Strong thought Shane was going to overthrow him on that bomb, but, man, that guy's got some wheels.
Yeah, he does. He's got a really high ceiling. He's a young kid. He's a 10.27 kid, so that's extremely, extremely fast. And he's able to pursue balls when they're in the air. But he's a kid that has a really high ceiling, that works tremendously hard, has great leadership, has a high football IQ, and we're obviously excited about his development and his future.
Anything else? All set. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.